As a brain doctor, this egg mistake increases heart attack risk after 60. Have you ever firmly believed that a morning egg is the perfect start for good health? Yet after the age of 60, a habit that seems harmless, enjoying that familiar egg, may quietly open the door to heart attacks, fading memory, and days filled with fatigue that seem to have no explanation. So why is it that some elderly people, living healthily into their 90s, still eat eggs every day, while the press and many new studies warn that eggs are an enemy of the heart? Could it be that we've been misled by inaccurate statistics, or is there a truth hidden beneath the surface? At the end of this video, I, speaking as a brain doctor, will reveal the 4 most dangerous mistakes people make when eating eggs. But it's the very first mistake that can truly make your heart cry out for help with every beat. Are you ready to hear it? Mistake 1. Frying eggs with inflammatory oils. Picture a typical morning. You place a pan on the stove, pour in a few spoonfuls of cooking oil, and crack 2 eggs into it. The aroma rises, the edges turn golden and crispy, the yolk glistens softly. It all looks irresistible. But do you know that very pan, if filled with the wrong oil, can turn into a silent enemy, igniting inflammation inside your body without you even knowing it? The frightening part here is not the egg itself. Eggs are rich in protein, choline, and vital vitamins for both the brain and the heart. The real culprit lies in the oil you use to fry them. Vegetable oil, canola oil, or margarine, often considered harmless, are loaded with omega-6. When omega-6 builds up excessively compared to omega-3, your body falls into imbalance, much like a dry forest waiting for the tiniest spark to burst into flames. And that spark is chronic inflammation. Have you ever wondered why your joints feel stiff and your body heavy in the morning, even after a full night's sleep? Or why sometimes just climbing a few steps leaves you short of breath, with your heart pounding faster than it should? These are not simply signs of aging. They may be the result of years of damage, as unhealthy fats cling to your blood vessels like rust coating an old water pipe, making it harder for blood to flow and forcing your heart to work harder with each beat. A well-known Harvard study revealed that a high omega-6 ratio in the diet is directly linked to increased risks of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even Alzheimer's. The consequences don't come like a sudden storm. They arrive quietly, like water slowly dripping through a roof, until one day the whole structure collapses. But here's the good news. The solution is surprisingly simple. Instead of frying eggs in cheap vegetable oils, switch to extra virgin olive oil. Olive oil works like a careful gardener, patiently trimming away the roots of inflammation and helping the body stay naturally balanced. Or try pure ghee, long valued as a protective armor for the gut lining, reducing oxidation and supporting digestion. And if you want the lightest option of all, simply boil or poach your eggs. This clean method lets you enjoy all the nutrients without adding any burden to your heart. I've seen many patients transform their health just by making this small change. One 65-year-old man I advised had the habit of frying eggs in corn oil and constantly complained of morning fatigue and brain fog. After switching to boiled eggs with greens and a slice of whole grain bread, he returned for a checkup just 3 weeks later. The results? His blood pressure stabilized, his sleep improved, and best of all, he woke up each morning with a clear mind, as if opening a window to let in fresh light. So what about you? Which oil do you usually use when frying eggs in the morning? Are you certain that oil isn't slowly rusting your arteries year after year? Share your story in the comments, because your experience might help someone else avoid this dangerous mistake. But wait. Cooking oil is only one piece of a bigger puzzle. Even if you choose the right oil, another very common habit can still turn your seemingly healthy breakfast into a silent threat to your heart and brain. Do you want to know what the second mistake is? Mistake 2. eating eggs with processed meat. Let me tell you about Walter, one of my patients who is now in his 60s. Every morning, he would prepare himself a classic American breakfast. 2 sunny-side-up eggs with a few crispy strips of bacon. To him, it was the perfect meal. Quick, filling, full of energy, and deeply tied to childhood memories of sitting around the family table. But what he didn't know was that hidden in this familiar comfort was a kind of sweet poison, silently damaging his body day by day. Can you guess what that poison was? Processed meat. Bacon, sausages, ham. Those pink, appetizing slices are no longer pure meat. They're packed with sodium nitrate, a preservative used to keep the color and extend shelf life. It may sound harmless, but once inside the body, especially when exposed to high heat, sodium nitrate transforms into nitrosamine, a compound the World Health Organization has classified as a potential carcinogen. The danger doesn't stop at cancer risk. Nitrates and the enormous amount of salt in processed meat act like silent gatekeepers, letting disease creep in. They raise blood pressure, injure blood vessel walls, disrupt metabolism, and, most importantly, cancel out the natural benefits of eggs. Think about it. Eggs are highly nutritious, but when paired with bacon, it's like pouring pure water into a glass already contaminated with poison. No matter how clean the water, it still becomes tainted. I clearly remember Walter complaining that lately he often woke up with numb legs, felt tired even after a full night's sleep, and suffered from persistent back pain for no clear reason. At first, he thought it was simply age or lack of exercise, but after multiple checkups, we discovered his LDL cholesterol was abnormally high, and his blood vessels were already showing early signs of atherosclerosis. This was no coincidence. It traced directly back to his daily habit of eating eggs with processed meat. You might be thinking, but I only eat a little. Should I really be worried? Unfortunately, yes. A study published in JAMA Network found that eating processed meat just a few times a week increases the risk of death from cardiovascular disease. And when combined with eggs, a natural source of cholesterol, the burden on the heart grows even heavier, as if stacking more and more bricks onto a heart already weary from years of work. Thankfully, Walter changed. After our consultation, he cut processed meats from his breakfast. Instead of bacon, he began choosing roasted tomatoes, ripe avocado, steamed chickpeas, and lightly sautéed greens with olive oil. As for the eggs, he boiled them or pan-seared them without oil. At first, he worried he wouldn't adjust, that breakfast would feel bland. But after just 1 week, he noticed a clear difference. His mind felt sharper, his body no longer sluggish, and the morning numbness disappeared. 3 weeks later, his tests showed lower LDL cholesterol, stable blood pressure, and most importantly, he said he felt as if he had been brought back to life. Would you like me to continue translating Mistake 3 in the same flowing, complete style? Does Walter's story make you think of yourself, or perhaps someone in your family? Are you unknowingly combining eggs with processed meat every morning, pouring hidden toxins into your body without realizing it? Remember, the egg is not to blame. It's the wrong combination that turns it into a culprit. And often, to live healthier, you don't need to change everything. You only need to remove the one thing that's silently damaging you day after day. But even if you've already cut processed meats out of your breakfast, there's still another mistake many people make. It's a habit that seems harmless, repeated every single day, yet it can leave your body drained of nutrients, fatigued, and weighed down by rising levels of bad cholesterol over the years. Do you want to know what that mistake is? Mistake 3. Eating eggs the same way every day.
In many American households, breakfast with fried eggs, a few slices of white bread, and a little butter has become a ritual repeated for decades. Quick, convenient, easy to eat. What could be wrong with that? But this monotonous routine quietly creates a vicious cycle that erodes health, especially after the age of 60. Have you ever felt your body slowing down, digestion becoming more difficult, or constipation lingering even though you eat on time? That's not always a matter of age. It may be because your breakfast lacks variety. When you eat eggs the same way every day, your body misses out on fiber, vitamins, and essential minerals. It's like a field planted with the same crop over and over again. Eventually, the soil is depleted and nothing grows lush anymore. I've met many patients like Evelyn, a 68-year-old woman who had eaten fried eggs with white bread for over 20 years. She often complained of morning fatigue, difficulty concentrating, and sometimes mild nausea after meals. When we ran tests, her LDL cholesterol was high and her digestion was sluggish. She was shocked because she truly believed she had been eating healthy. In reality, a study from the American Clinical Nutrition Institute showed that people who varied their breakfast, combining eggs with vegetables, whole grains, and fruits, had more stable cholesterol, less fatigue, and stronger digestion after just 3 months. You see, the problem is not the egg itself. It's that we let it wear the same outfit every single day. So what's the solution? Not to stop eating eggs, but to diversify how you prepare them. On Monday, you might have boiled eggs with oatmeal and flax seeds, great for stabilizing blood sugar and feeding healthy gut bacteria. On Wednesday, try a colorful vegetable omelet with tomatoes, spinach, and a touch of melted cheese. On the weekend, when you have more time, make baked egg muffins, small, convenient, and bursting with flavor. And if you prefer something with natural sweetness, pair your eggs with berries like strawberries or blueberries and a handful of walnuts. These are the good friends of your heart, packed with antioxidants that reduce inflammation, balance cholesterol, and slow down aging. I still remember another patient, Mr. James, who used to eat fried eggs with white bread every morning. After adopting what he called a breakfast revolution, changing the way he prepared eggs each week, he came back to me and said, "Doctor, every morning I feel young again. I no longer get drowsy in the middle of the day, and my skin even looks brighter." His test results also showed more stable cholesterol and better blood pressure balance. Do you see yourself in this story? Have you been letting your eggs wear the same outfit every day without realizing your body is missing essential nutrients? Try making a small change and feel the difference for yourself. But even if you've learned how to diversify your egg dishes, there is still one last mistake that many people make. It's a storage habit that seems completely harmless, yet it can turn an egg into a ticking time bomb for your digestive system and your heart. Are you curious to know what it is? Mistake 4. Storing eggs the wrong way. Have you noticed that in many households, eggs are placed right in the refrigerator door? Convenient, easy to grab, and neat to look at. But few people realize that this common spot is actually the most dangerous. Every time you open the door, the temperature fluctuates between 46 degrees Fahrenheit and 54 degrees Fahrenheit, or 8 to 12 degrees Celsius. For something as delicate as an egg, those constant changes are enough to weaken the natural protective coating on the shell. Once that barrier is compromised, bacteria, especially Salmonella, can slip inside. Think of the digestive system of someone over 60 like an old machine. When it was younger, it could handle small glitches without much trouble. But as it ages, even the smallest malfunction can cause the whole system to rattle. If an egg is contaminated with Salmonella, the consequences don't stop at a little stomach pain or diarrhea. They can lead to insomnia, dehydration, and in severe cases, complications like sepsis or meningitis. According to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, FDA, Every year, there are about 79,000 cases of food poisoning in the U.S. linked to eggs, with around 30 deaths, simply because of seemingly harmless storage habits. In fact, a study published in the Journal of Food Protection found that after just 2 hours at room temperature, salmonella in eggs can multiply tenfold. And storing eggs in the fridge door increases the likelihood of bacterial growth 3 times more than keeping them in the middle shelf. Are you keeping your eggs in the safest place? If not, the solution is incredibly simple. Store them in the middle shelf of the fridge, where the temperature is most stable, 32 to 39 degrees Fahrenheit, or 0 to 4 degrees Celsius. Keep them in their original carton, since eggshells are highly porous and can absorb odors and microbes from other foods. And most importantly, don't wash eggs before refrigerating them. Doing so strips away the natural protective coating that nature has provided. I once had a patient, Martha, a 70-year-old woman who constantly suffered from bloating and poor digestion, believing it was just old age. But after asking more questions, I learned she often left eggs out on the kitchen counter because it was easier to cook them the next morning. Once she changed her habit, storing eggs properly in the middle of the fridge, just a few weeks later she told me her bloating had vanished, her sleep was deeper, and she felt much healthier overall.
So, what about you? Are you really storing your eggs the right way? Or are you unknowingly turning them into a time bomb right in your kitchen? Try opening your fridge after watching this video and check where your eggs are. But before you rush off, stay with me for a few more minutes. I want to leave you with one important message. Eggs are not the enemy. It's the small daily habits, seemingly harmless, that silently steal your health and peace of mind after age 60. I want you to finish this video feeling relieved, not worried, but still alert enough to make a change. Do you remember at the start, I asked, are eggs really harmful to heart health after 60? Now the answer is clear. Eggs are not at fault. The real culprits are those small habits, from frying eggs in the wrong oil, combining them with processed meat, eating the same style every single day, to storing them incorrectly, all quietly harming your heart and brain. The great news is, you don't have to give up eggs. When eaten correctly, eggs can become one of your strongest allies for heart and brain health. Just be mindful in choosing your cooking oil, smart about combinations, creative each week, and careful with storage. And you're sending a clear message to your body. I value this health. So, what about you? After watching this video, what's the first thing you'll change in your egg-eating habits? Leave a comment, because your story could help someone else avoid unnecessary risks. And if you found this information useful, hit like, share it with family members over 60, and subscribe so you don't miss our next videos. Because health waits for no one, but you can take control of it starting today.